Hey, what's up guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher, and today we're going to go over the 2017 Premiere Pro Proxy Workflow. We're going to use some raw footage from the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, so that way you kind of see how that workflow works and what we can do and what's the best way to do this, because everyone says, what's the best way to import footage? How do you get started? How do you organize things? So I'm going to show you. So first, of course, we're going to open Premiere Pro, and not drag Creative Cloud. Open Premiere Pro up, and then, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a new project, and we're going to beforehand set our ingest settings, which is how we're going to say how things are going to move. So we're going to call this workflow test. I'm going to put it in my filmmaking, and of course you can, say where it's going to go. If you have a CUDA accelerated GPU, I would just do the Mercury Playback Engine GPU acceleration, blah, blah, blah. This doesn't really matter that much. Scratch discs, same as project for me, but of course you can do other ones in different spots if you need to. So pretty much all of these you don't want to change unless you have like a specific scratch disk that you use, like SSD, which I edit off SSD anyway, so if you had one though, it'd just be easier. Actually, this isn't on the SSD, but it normally is. So ingest settings is where we're going to do our proxy workflow. So what this is going to do is any clip that we import into Premiere Pro, it's going to say, hey, do this with it, and it's going to do it in the background. So we're going to click ingest, and we don't want to do copy, we're going to do create proxies. So what this means is everything that we actually import into Premiere Pro is going to immediately make a proxy version. Now, a lot of people ask about things like frame rates and, frame sizes. It's going to, when you have the proxy workflow, anything, no matter what frame rate it is going to convert it down to the basics. So it's going to convert it down to GoPro Cineform, 1024 by 540, at whatever frame rate it's at, probably just 23.976. So if you're working with slow motion clips, if when you turn on the proxy button, it doesn't look like slow motion, don't worry, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do GoPro Cineform 720p, just so it's a little bit, nicer. Now, down here, proxy destination, we can save it in different places. So for instance, we could save it in a preset destination that we want that's separate. We could save it in the Creative Cloud, which is really cool because you could edit from proxies wherever you are, and then of course have that immediately change back to your originals at your workstation. But for right now, we're going to do same as project because it doesn't really matter that much. Alright, so now when it comes to raw workflow, if you don't know this, you have to bring raw through Media Browser. Now, if Media Browser doesn't show up, all I have to do is go to Window and then turn on Media Browser there. Shift 8, I guess. So what you're going to do is you're going to navigate to wherever your raw files are in your folders, and mine are right here. And these are a clip from a softbox test I'm doing. So I'm going to right-click, Import. Now, what's that is immediately doing, you can see Media Encoder is opening up instantly, and what Media Encoder is doing is it's actually making a proxy back here as I'm editing. And of course, we can edit with these files while this is going on, but what it's doing is it's making the proxy in the background of that raw clip. Now, this is really great for raw or something that is, 8K footage or 4K footage if you want to work on a laptop, a Surface, or just even on your computer in general, just to kind of help it while you're editing. And the best thing is you don't have to round trip. You don't have to, render it out and then come back and do it. It all just works seamlessly. So I can bring this into a new sequence. So what I'm going to do is click and drag it down. Now what this is a raw sequence. So this sequence, if we go to sequence settings, this sequence is Airy Cinema, which is what the raw becomes. We can do maximum bit depth and maximum render quality, but it's 1080p. We can see that this is exactly how I shot it. This is how it's going to be. So, of course, we can edit this, and this is the full file, right? So now with raw, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. For instance, we can go into Effects Controls. Make sure our clip is selected here. I'm going to undo this audio. Make sure our clip is selected, and down, if you click this little guy right here, because right now we're on this tab, if you click this tab, you can open up the raw settings. So we can change the white balance, the tint, and exposure. Now, for other cameras, such as like the Red, the R3D files, there's a lot more things you can change in here. But like, for instance, I want to change this to, I think it was like 3800, looked kind of cool, or maybe it was less. Maybe it was 5800. Nah, it's too warm for me. I want to do probably like the correct white balance is somewhere like 5000 maybe. Yeah, that's pretty close. We'll do 4800. So So 4800 is pretty close. So again, there I did. I just changed the white balance. That's natively, that's in camera. And I kind of overexposed this. And because we shot raw, I can just drop down my exposure and boom, look at that. It is back now, and this is something I can actually grade with. So here's the cool part. So right now we're on the full resolution, and I can see that Media Encoder has done its thing in the background. Now, of course, it doesn't matter. We can kind of forget about Media Encoder. But now what I can do is this button right here. This little kind of looks like the Windows when it pops up and it says like, are you sure you want to do this? If you don't see that, you just click the plus sign right here, and it's in here. You just click it, drag it down there, but it's already there. So when I click this, it immediately, you can see it changes its color and it becomes the proxy. Now the reason why it changed its color is because it's using Premiere's original import. So anything you change is going to be on the original file, not the proxy. Now, of course, this might be a little bit annoying because you're going to see, slight overexposing, or, maybe, especially in RAW, if there's RAW settings you want to change, that's going to be in the grading process. But the cool thing is that you can still edit with these, and now this is going to play back so much easier. Of course, it's only one clip, so it's not going to make a big difference right now. But it's going to play back a lot easier if you're using, huge files like 8K, 4K, 5K, 6K, RED, R3D or ARRI, RAW files, or even Blackmagic RAW files. Once you start getting a big edit, it's going to slow down your computer no matter what computer you're on. So the proxy workflow is great for anything, but like I said, you have to remember that when you click this button, certain things like frame rates and RAW settings are going to disappear. Now, of course, when we click back, we're going to see that we're back to the original changed RAW file that we made. And that's kind of the cool thing, is you can go through, you can edit with the proxies on, make your edits however you want. And then once you're done, you can go back to your originals and start grading. So I could come into curves and I could grade this how I wanted it. I could add like a little S curve right there. And, I could do, I kind of want to take, he has some kind of reddish skin. Kind of want to take that down a little bit. Maybe I want to put a creative LUT on there. So I could go into my LUT folder in here, which is like, I should install them, but that's a whole other. Let's see, let's go to Spotify. Maybe we want to put contemporary color. I don't know, maybe not. This might look terrible. No, that's actually pretty good. Okay, so that's not bad. And again, I kind of want to bring more of that red out of his face, though. Not too much. Yeah, so there you go. And again, then we can go right back, but we're going to see what's going to happen here. So now we went back to the proxy. Now our grade is still on there, but the problem is our grade is on top of the proxy, not changing the RAW files. So again, you have to remember that when that proxy button is engaged, your color settings and your frame rates may be off. So if you're confused about something, just turn that off and then see what's going on. But it doesn't matter, whatever you bring in, whether it's mixed frame rates, when this is off, Premiere Pro is just like it is. You can have mixed frame rates, mixed frame sizes, all that kind of stuff, mixed resolutions, codecs, it doesn't matter. It's just when you turn this on, things are going to change, but you kind of have to not worry about it and just have to trust that it's going to work. And again, this is kind of an experimental thing. You have to kind of look at some things like slow motion might be the same duration in time, but just cut down to 24 frames. It's a little confusing, but for most basic purposes, this is a great way to edit, especially when you're editing very large files on, either just laptops or not so great machines, or even just if you have a massive project. Things like wedding ceremonies, where maybe if you're shooting in 4K on like a GH4 or even in just 1080p, you might want to downsize it to, less than maybe standard definition for when you're editing the ceremony. It's not key that you see a fully high resolution version. Things like that. So anyway, this is a great tool that I hope you use. Hope you guys enjoy it. And this clip that you see right here is coming from a softbox grid kit that I bought for $35 that I'm going to be reviewing very soon. So if you like that video, or if you'd like to see that video, please click the like button below. Please subscribe. We have hit 1,000 subscribers, which I forgot to mention, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And like I said, we're going to have a lot more content coming soon. I have some pretty cool shoots. A big one that we're going to be shooting with a Red Dragon, and I'm kind of going to show you that full workflow from top to bottom. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a good one.